Good evening, everybody, and welcome again to the Fortune Eagles Screen Share webinar. My name is Greg Phillips. I'll be your host, and I'm happy to announce we're ready to go. It's been a long time coming. Brian has spent many nights up late at night, but with his diligent work and his perseverance, Fortune Eagles platform was up and ready to roll. So I just want to thank you, Brian, first and foremost for that. Another thing I'd like to talk about, the platform is going to be a little different now because I want to talk a little bit about the video of the week that we had this week because it's going to lead into why it's so important to get involved with Fortune Eagles and the campaign that we're getting ready to do with Fund Me 24/7. The video of the week was dealing with, the fact that money is not even real. It's an illusion that we have that just pieces of paper that we walk around in our pocket have different values to it. If you look at a dollar bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, or a $20 bill, it's all printed with the same ink, it's all printed with the same color, it's all the same size, it's all the same thickness, but because they put different numbers on it, we think that has a certain amount of value to it. And it really doesn't. And the video of the week basically was talking about how, the true value of the planet has been taken away from us because they just create money out of thin air and then charge us interest on that. And the interest could be as low as 1%. But if you're getting it out of thin air, that 1% to a million people, to a billion people, becomes a lot of money. And then if you don't pay that, this fake money that just came out of nowhere on pieces of paper, they take everything that you own, your home, your car, your pension, everything that you worked so hard for. And that's why the Fortune Eagles platform is so glad to be back up now, because we want people to understand that we have a new chance to change that dynamic, using their system to our advantage. And with that being said, Brian, I just want to open up the floor and let you have it so you can explain to everybody what we're trying to do and the concept that we're trying to have, because we need to understand that the only true value that we really have is between our ears and in our hearts. Brian, you got the floor.
Very good, very good. Thank you. You just said a mouthful there. 14 Eagles, that's what we're all about. We're here to educate people. We're here to help put people in a position to where we can take care of ourselves. And that's the premise of 14 Eagles, people coming together on a platform where we can help one another. That's what it's all about. That's what the world is all about, okay? But unfortunately, the system that we find ourselves caught up in is the complete opposite, okay? We're being controlled by others instead of being helped by others. And we're trying to get out of that system. So with 14 Eagles, we've tried to create our own community here. And so by creating our own community, we're going to create our own economy as well. All right? And so we want to educate people on how to take the fake fiat dollars and turn them into real money, something of value. Okay, and at the same time, put ourselves in a position to where we won't be subject to the debt system that they're trying to push on us. And so, and the only way we can do that is that we come together and work together to be able to get out of that type of situation. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. All right, but if we work together, we can do anything we want to do. And that's the power of 14 Eagles. And then when we add Fund Me 24/7 and Feed Me 24/7 to the mix, now we become lethal. We could become a lethal weapon to the system that has tried to enslave us all of our lives. And so, when we have something like this, it's going to take time for people to change their perspective on what's really going on. When people have been indoctrinated with certain information for so long, they think that that's the norm. All right, and then when you have a program like 14 Eagles and other programs that are trying to do this, trying to educate people in the same way that we are, then people, they get kind of standoffish. All right. So with our platform, it's going to take time to change people's perspectives about what our concept is all about, and that's okay. You know, that's okay. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna educate people as much as we possibly can. But the main thing that we want to do is we want to help people. We want to help people to get out of the condition that they find themselves in. And by helping people to get out of that condition, then their perspectives start to change. Their consciousness starts to change. And we do that one person at a time. And as we continue to do that, not just in our own communities, in our own families, in our own cities, not just in this country, but around the world, then we can create change, and we can create a notable change. And, you know, I believe that this, and I always say this, that this small little program is the catalyst to the biggest change that's ever hit this planet. Okay? And we're just in the infancy stage. We're just getting started. Even though 14 Eagles has been around for over 9 years now. 9 years. That's unbelievable almost. 9 years. And a lot of people have never even heard of us. Don't even know what we have done in those 9 years. So, and that goes to show you how difficult a job it is to really get in the hearts and minds of people, especially with the type of information and the type of platform that we have. Because if a lot of you may have been involved with gifting platforms in the past, and those platforms have been vilified, literally vilified, because, you know, of course, you had some unscrupulous type people that tried to run these gifting platforms out here in the past. And, of course, a lot of people may have lost money in trying to do things to try to, you know, in their minds help each other. But as time goes on, we find a way to make it benefit for the good. And so by taking an old concept and putting it into new technology, we have found a way to make it work to the people's advantage. And that's the key. That's the key. To make it work for the people's advantage. And so right now, what we want to try to go over with you and try to gain some perspective on is the concept of the 14 Eagles platform and the Fund Me 24/7 platform, and why we're bringing the two together to work with one another in a campaign that we're getting ready to launch here pretty soon to a database of over 30,000 people. And those 30,000 people were people that had came through 14 Eagles in the past 9 years. And a lot of those people don't even know that 14 Eagles is still here. But we're getting ready to reach out to the 14 Eagles family, to the family that used to be here, the family that helped get 14 Eagles started and has come and gone. And we're going to bring those people back to the fold because they need it. We know they need it. They needed it then, and it helped those people out then. And it can help them again, even more so now, because we're using technology to our advantage. And so by starting that campaign and bringing Fund Me 24/7 into the fold and working together, man, this is going to be a powerful, powerful, powerful thing for people to change their lives and to help change other people's lives. And so our whole concept is to build a community, as I said before, to build a community where people can work together and educate each other and fellowship with each other, okay, and prosper together. And we've got a slogan that we're going to continuously put out to people and put out into the consciousness, that here in this platform, in this community, we give from the heart and we share the love and we accept our blessings. That is truly what it's all about in just one little phrase. And it's a complete opposite of what you find yourself in what we call the real world, what they call the real world. Because in the real world, not in our virtual world here in 14 Eagles, but in the real world, the so-called real world, their concept is all about selling, buying, and taking. You know, somebody always wants to sell you something, and so therefore, if you can buy it, that's good. If you can't, okay, so what? You know, selling and buying and taking. The government takes from us on a consistent basis, and one of the main ways that they take from us, and what we try to educate people on through 14 Eagles, is that when you're working a job, before you can even get your money from working on a job, the government has already taken its share. Now, what kind of sense does that make? We know that that doesn't make much sense, but yet we have normalized it, haven't we? That's a normal thing. It becomes so normal that it doesn't even hardly bother us anymore, when it should make us furious. Because if I were to take money out of your pocket before you even got it, you would be ready to shoot me. But the government does it, and it's okay. It's just fine. Until you start getting the information about how that really is not supposed to be. Well, what do you mean, Brian, it's not supposed to be? Yeah. See, what you don't know can really hurt you in the long run. And see, and we have been lied to all of our lives. I mean, literally, all of our lives. And until you get that information and know that you have been lied to and start gathering the truth, you'll just go along like everything is normal. And seeing that's why our concept and our community, this virtual community, is going to take some time, because we have to change people's thinking. We have to get them out of that normalcy, the normal way of doing things. Why? Because the normal way of doing things is what's keeping us in the position that we're in. Does it make sense that less than 4% of the people on the planet have 95% of the wealth on the planet? Makes no sense, does it? But that's literally what it is. There's a handful of people who control everything on the planet. And they're the minority. How is that possible? How can a handful of people control billions of people? We have to think about that. We have to really sit down and think, how does something like that take place? Well, we're trying to change all of that. And we're not the only ones out here. Trust me, we're not the only ones trying to change that. There's plenty of people out here trying to change the whole concept of what's going on here, trying to change people's thinking, to make us wake up and see what's actually happening. And it's been a long time, coming. But our little part that we're going to do, we think is going to have the biggest impact. Because we're going to literally change people's lives one at a time. And the thing about it is, we're the ones that's going to do it. Each and every one of us. Through platforms like 14 Eagles and Fund Me 24/7. Now, Greg came on and showed you and told you that we finally got 14 Eagles back up and running. We have revitalized 14 Eagles. We've changed from the old website that we had and the platform. We've redone the platform and everything. This is our new site, the 14 Eagles Den community site. We have come a long way to get here. And now it's time to really prosper. It's really time for people to really come together and do some damage to the old system and bring in the new system. Okay? Create a community where people can thrive with one another. Come and create a way for people to be able to reach their goals in life. Because, see, we should never have to do anything by ourselves. That's not what we're put here to do, be by ourselves. We're put here to be connected to one another. Okay? And this is what this platform does. It will connect each and every one of us the way it should be. I hope you're hearing me, and I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. All right? It's time out for all the Lone Rangers out there and all the people that's trying to do things by themselves. We're trying to change that game now. You know, the time is over for people to help one another only when there's a tragedy or when a storm comes through and wipes out somebody's home, or somebody's home burns down, or someone has some type of sickness that they have to have a major surgery for, or whatever the case may be. It seems like that's the only time people really come together, is during a tragedy. Well, no, we're going to try to change that, because with this platform, people are going to come together for the good times. We're going to come together and help each other get to the good times. That's what 14 Eagles is all about. See our website here? Going across the screen now are ads. These are people's ads that are coming through 14 Eagles. And guess what? These ads are free. You don't have to pay for an ad. What's one of the biggest expense for a business, for a small business? Advertisement. Advertisement. Well, guess what? You can come to the 14 Eagles community and advertise for free. That's right, for free. To the 14 Eagles community. And when you advertise to our community, just by being a part of the community, guess what? Whether you sell anything or not, you're going to be taken care of financially. Because that's what the platform does. It creates an ability for everyone to take care of each other financially. Because in 14 Eagles, all we do is give gifts to one another. And Fund Me 24/7, we give contributions for people's projects and causes. See, we don't go in and try to take from people. No, we want you to come in so we can give to you. See, it's the old universal principle. Give, whatever you give, you will get back in abundance. That's universal law, because it works both ways. If you give something good, guess what? Good comes back to you in abundance. But if you give something bad, that's going to come back to you in abundance. That's the thing that we're trying to show people. That the good is entwined into this community. All right? This community that we're creating here is fostered in giving, sharing, and accepting. And so we're trying to get people into that conscious mode of giving, sharing, and accepting. And so that's why There's nothing to buy here. You don't buy anything here at 14 Eagles. Now we have businesses that have things that you can buy from other businesses, but at 14 Eagles, we have nothing to sell. Fund Me 24/7 has nothing to sell. These are just platforms for people to come together to help one another, to get to their financial goals, period, and to help change the consciousness around the world. I hope everybody can understand that. Now, I'm so proud of this website that we have now, because on this website, as you see, as I just said, we have advertisements for businesses to come and get involved and be able to advertise whatever their goods and services are. And the great thing about this is that when businesses get involved with Fund Me 24/7 and 14 Eagles, and they get to advertise their business for free, the people that may want to take part in what they have, guess what? They don't have to come out of their pocket. Follow me here. They don't have to come out of their pocket. Why? Because the monies that are being gifted to them or contributed to them, that's the money that they can use to take part in the commerce of the small business in their goods and services. Does that make sense? See, in the so-called real world, if you don't have any money, you can't buy anything. And the only way you can go get money is what? Get a job. Because not too many people going to give you money. The bank's not going to give you money, right? They make you borrow the money. Because if you borrow the money from them, what you got to do? Pay it back. See, in our community, we're giving money to each other. And guess what? You don't have to pay it back. It's almost unbelievable, isn't it? That's why some people are not going to be able to wrap their minds around this. The first thing they're going to holler is what? Oh, this is one of them pyramid schemes, one of those Ponzi schemes. And most people that say that don't even know what a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme is. But we'll teach you what that is as well here at 14 Eagles. So we really encourage businesses to come and get involved with 14 Eagles platform, because there's really no competition here. We've taken away the competition. So if you have something that people need by way of goods and services, this is the place to be. Because the platform provides the funds for people to be able to take part in whatever they need. Are you following me? I hope so. Also, in 14 Eagles, we have our welcome here. We really encourage you to read the welcome so you can kind of get the gist of what 14 Eagles is all about. And we have videos that we're going to be posting on the site to give you a perspective of what we're trying to do in our community. We really encourage you to watch these videos. It'll probably put you in a whole different frame of mind when you finish watching them. And you'll probably say, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Right? And then, what we want you to do is go and look at the 14 Eagles presentation, so you can get a chance to see what the platform, how the platform really works. How do we give to each other? How do we send and receive gifts? How does that platform work? And also, you can come here to the IRS gift tax and see what the IRS gift tax law is about gifting. See, we're not trying to do anything to break the laws here. We're trying to use the laws to our advantage. something that we haven't done in the past. And then also, we want you to take a look at Fund Me 24/7, because everybody has a project or cause that they need to fund. Everybody has something that they need funds for, whether it be, starting a college fund for your kids. Maybe you went to college yourself and have, college debt racked up. That's a project that you can take on for yourself. Maybe you need a new roof on your house. That's a project that you can get funded through Fund Me 24/7. Crowdfunding is a $30 billion industry right now. Thanks to to President Obama signing into law the Jobs Act that made it legitimate to help people by way of funding their projects. All right? It's powerful stuff. Whatever project that you can think of that you need funds for, guess what? You can get it in Fund Me 24/7 by building the community, building your own crowd, and seeing we have Feed Me 24/7. A lot of you probably don't want to talk to people about this. Okay, no problem. Get into the Feed Me 24/7 platform and give people an ebook that will explain everything to them in a nutshell. 12 easy-to-read pages that gives you powerful information about how crowdfunding works and how the sharing community works, how a collaborative business works. Education is the key. We have to retrain each other. I hope this is making sense. This is easy stuff. And we want to make it as simple as possible for people to be able to get involved and use and build a community of like-minded individuals that are willing to help each other. Now, you would think that would be something that everybody would want to do, don't you? But out in the real world, it's hard. It's hard out there in the real world, right? But guess what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it because we can do whatever we want to do as long as we do it the right way. We can make things possible. And Fund Me 24/7, Feed Me 24/7, and 14 Eagles, it's going to blow people's minds when they really see the concept of what it can do. We have 3 separate platforms that will provide for you through the same community or crowd of people. Powerful. All right? Come to the 14 Eagles community website. Check us out. Also, we're going to have a members only section that you'll be able to log into on the site. And every member will have the login information to be able to log into that once we set it up. And that's where all the education is at. All the tools that you need to try to help people. We're going to have this thing down pat. We want you to come and get involved with our community. Get involved with our community so we can build it up. So we can take this out to the world. And we can make a change. The political situation is horrendous right now. Do you really think the politicians have us in mind when they do all the crazy stuff that they do out there? not just in this country, but all around the world? Do they really have our interest at mind? Because if they did, we wouldn't be in this situation that we're in right now. We wouldn't need a 14 Eagles and a Fund Me 24/7, right? So it's time out for waiting for them to do the right thing. It's time for us to come together and do the right thing for each other. That's what this is all about. Yeah, sure. We can get on these webinars and show you a bunch of numbers and how much money you can bring in by way of gifts and contributions. We can do all of that. But why do all of that if you don't understand why we're doing it? You can get that right here on this site, how each of these platforms work, how the contributions come in, how the gifts come in. But we really want you to understand the concept of what we're trying to do here. And if you can get that, everything else will fall into place. Everything else will fall into place. And we really, really want to cater to the businesses, because the businesses can really make this thing grow. It can really make it happen. Because what's a community without businesses in the community to provide us with the things that we need? We are going to be a real community. Even though it's in the virtual world, it's going to be a real community. And it's going to give you an opportunity to be able to change the so-called real world. And see, and that's a concept that most people are not privy to. It's going to be a new way. And whenever something is new, it takes time for people to wrap their minds around it. But we're here to do that. We're here to do that. Now, what I want to do real quick, and they probably don't know I'm getting ready to do this, but real quick, I want to bring up Dwayne Ferguson. He's been really instrumental in trying to get the businesses involved in the community, because they have so much to benefit from this, and we're trying to get them to see that. And we really believe that, you know, a lot of the businesses are starting to see how this can really, really change things. So I want to try to open him up real quick and bring him on. Dwayne, can you say something?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Dwayne, if you can, real quick, just take a couple of minutes and just give your perspective on how the businesses can really benefit by being involved in the 14 Eagles community.
Man, that's a loaded question. That is so loaded. You see the specs on startup businesses and how they, especially a lot of home-based businesses, and how they don't last long. I mean, really within months, whatever the number is today, but they're out of business. A lot of them because they're just not prepared to go into business. They really have not. We've been conditioned to basically be gophers. We go, we get a job, and that's as far as we go, and we just stay there until it's time to go home, and we collect a paycheck. So it doesn't require anything. The idea of someone actually having a home-based business is a very brave move, if I may. But let's not make it bigger than what it really is. It's because it's very simple. It's that you found something. You may not necessarily have a passion for it, but you found a piece of leverage that you can utilize to get started in a business. Well, one of the biggest problems that people have is getting their information out, because it's so costly in terms of advertising. So the fact that it costs so much to advertise, to promote their business, I mean, you got to use some external media and pay them to bring your message out to the masses, and I mean big masses or even small masses. Or you have to get someone to align for you, or align with you, excuse me, and you pay them a part of the commission that they're actually going to bring in. And it's a real tough process. So what we've set up was a great situation where a platform where businesses can now find a home to which they can actually expand. And they don't have to live here, but they can actually be part of the community. And as a result of that, they share their goods and services and their talents. And in the same process, because we do have our crowdsourcing platforms, now they're getting contributions. Now, I dare to say that anybody that decides that they're in business and they're going to come on board and they're just going to just sit there and do nothing, you're really a very selfish individual towards your own self, because you're saying, well, I'm not going to tell anybody about what I'm doing because I'm too busy. Well, what's the point? It's self-defeating. What we're providing is an opportunity where we now come together. We now create more of a support system to help to get those businesses, whether it's an old business, whether it's a current business, and getting those businesses going as we grow. So we really have something that's very grand here. I mean, literally, where do you advertise and get contributions at the same time and you still have not sold anything or no one's purchased anything? I haven't seen it. I have never even heard of that concept until now. So we have something. Yeah, we got something that's just like
it sounds crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds crazy.
Sounds crazy.
Give me a whole bucket of it, a whole bucket of crazy. Put the hot barbecue sauce on it. So that's what we got here. And yeah, it's going to take a bit for some people to wrap their brains around it because they've been programmed on all the other traditional stuff, and we just kind of taken tradition and just tweaked it a bit and put some sauce to it. Not sauce, sauce. We put some sauce to it, the spicy stuff make your eyes bleed. They say, wow, that was good.
That's right.
So we got something really, really huge here.
Excellent, excellent. You said a mouthful there. And you know, and I think, you know, in not too far distant future here, we're going to have a lot of businesses flocking to our community, okay? The community is going to continue to grow. And as the community grows, more businesses come. And the more businesses come, the more the community is going to grow, okay? Because, see, here in 14 Eagles, in order for a business to be able to advertise whatever they goods and services they have, they don't pay 14 Eagles any money. We don't ask for you to pay any advertising fees or anything like that. What do we ask for? We ask for you to grow the community. So as long as you're helping to grow the community, you can advertise all you want. It just makes sense if you really look at it. I'm telling you, I hope y'all see this. I hope you see what happened. Thanks, Dwayne.
Very well.
Now the next person I want to bring up real quick. You know, you've heard me say that we've partnered with FundMe 24/7. And FundMe 24/7 is already changing the game. It's already disrupting the crowdfunding industry, a $30 billion industry, which they say is going to grow by 2025 into a $300 billion industry, which is crazy within itself. And so that lets you know that people are trying to, you know, give and help people. They want to help people. That's why crowdfunding is so big. You know, GoFundMe, the GoFundMe pages that people put up, every time somebody needs help, somebody starts a GoFundMe page. It's really taken off, right? But see, FundMe 24/7 has disrupted the industry because now they've got a way now to where everybody benefits. You don't have to wait for a disaster. Everybody can benefit and take care of themselves. And so what I want to do is I want to bring up a gentleman who's a longtime friend of mine. He's like a brother from another mother to me. And we've been together for a while. And he put his blood, sweat, and tears into FundMe 24/7. And his heart is there for the people. Okay? He does whatever he can for anybody. And any time you're in a room with him for 5 minutes, you know that. Okay? You know that. And so with somebody like him at the helm of Fund Me 24/7, you know that it's going to capture the world. Mark Stevens, are you live? Can you come out? Say something. See if he can open up his mic. Hit mute. There you go.
I'm muting
Mark,
myself.
yeah. Go ahead and just give a quick snippet about Fund Me 24/7 and how Fund Me 24/7 and 14 Eagles are working together, and how we can really make an impact to people's lives.
Okay, well, the 14 Eagles members, those that have been coming to the calls and been listening to the calls, they know that and already know that 14 Eagles, as you said, is not a business. Fund Me 24/7 is a business, and it's a business, as you just said, it's March 5th, 2012, former President Barack Obama signed into law the Jobs Act, and what it did was it made it able for anybody the age of 18 and over. They have a cause that they want to raise contributions for, so long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. They can raise up to $1 million. If they want to raise more than that, then they just have to get another project, but that's the law. And so you've told how big the business is right now, $30 billion. By 2025, it'll be $300 billion. So, you know, I often tell people there's 3 ways of getting wealthy. Number one, you find out where the world is headed and get there first. Well, even though the crowdfunding business is here now, it hasn't got to the $300 billion. So we're kind of like getting there first. So when you put the combination of what the information that you can learn from 14 Eagles and Fund Me and Feed Me is a feeder program into Fund Me 24/7 that'll create members in your group that allow you to raise funds after funds after funds. It's just a lethal combination, as you said. It's freedom. That's what it is. That's, to me, the biggest way I can put it. It's freedom. And like I said, you want to become wealthy, find out where the world is headed, get there first. Don't spend more money than you make, and do something that benefits other people in the world. And that's what the combination of both of these programs does.
That's right. That's a powerful thing, man. Powerful. Man, I just smile ear to ear every time I think about what we're doing here, and that the world just don't know yet. And with the world not even knowing yet what we're doing, the potential is so great. It's so great. And when people really catch on to what's happening, you will literally see before your eyes your community change. You'll see the country start to change. You'll see other countries start to change. You'll see it. I mean, you'll be able to recognize the change. You'll see the change in people. You'll see how people will be, just arbitrarily helping each other, because they'll already have it in their consciousness to do. Because money won't become an issue. And then they'll learn what money really is. See, most people don't even know what money is. And that's part of the problem. They think that these dollars in their pocket that they walk around with is real money, and it's not, as Greg was saying earlier. And so once we understand what that really is, then we treat it in a whole different way. And that's the power of getting education, getting educated in the right way. And see and understand, don't think that we here at 14 Eagles know everything. We don't. Okay? This community is being built for all of us to learn from one another, because nobody knows everything. And anything that you hear from me, or anything that you get, any information that you get from 14 Eagles, we want you to go and check it out. We want you to go and research it. Everything that we put out, we want you to research it. Don't take our word for it. Research it for yourself, because if you research it for yourself, that's how you're going to learn it. That's how you're going to know what's going on. And anytime you research, guess what? You got to find out information from other people. See, we literally learn from one another all the time. And that's the key. So now, real quick, thanks, Mark. Real quick, I want to bring up Mr. 14 Eagles. This guy's been with me. We've been together since 14 Eagles got started. And we kind of took over 14 Eagles when 14 Eagles was getting ready to fold. We said, no, we can't let this go. This has to be here. This is too good to let it fall to the wayside. And so Greg was instrumental in keeping this 14 Eagles platform up. And we nurtured it and dealt with it and went through the hard times and had some good times. And sometimes it was just me and him. And so he inspired me. And so, with him, he sees the vision of 14 Eagles. I think he's seen it long before the person who created 14 Eagles. So with him, 14 Eagles is the key, and he will let you know that. And he gives it the spiritual essence of what 14 Eagles is all about. And that's what I love about this brother. So, Greg, are you there?
Yes, sir, Brian. I'm here. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
I want you to do one quick thing for me.
Yes, sir.
Go back to the videos that we have and because I want people to see something very, very important about what 14 Eagles is and who we are, and why it's very important for everybody to look at these 3 videos. And the one that, like Brian says, I try to be like help you guys spiritually with this here, because first we talked about money being an illusion. You see the video on the right that says your body is an illusion also, because I used to always say, and I'll say this again, we are energy. We are emotions. That's energy in motion. And if we all moving in the same direction, all thinking the same positive thoughts, we can change the world. And this is what they don't want you to know. They want you to think that money is real. They want you to think that your physical body is real. They want you to think that you don't think. Okay? And with 14 Eagles platform, what we're trying to do right now more than ever before is bring these 3 entities together and change the world, because we have the power to do so. But we all have to stay connected to one another. We all have to love each other. We all have to be one family with one goal in mind. And that's what this is really about. And, Brian, that's really probably why the reason I hung on to this for so long. And like you said, we've been through the ups and downs, and sometimes, like you said, we would be on these calls, it'd just be me and you. But we would record the calls and get them out anyway, because we truly believe in what we're doing, and we want you to believe in what you're doing too. As I said before, and I'll say it again, poor is just a state that we stay in, because all you're doing is you're passing over opportunities repeatedly. So like what Brian was saying, when people say, well, this is a pyramid scheme, this is that, they shut off all their energy before they even know what they're talking about. Instead of saying, well, let me go to the 14 Eagles website, let me see what's going on, let me write down my questions and get them answered by coming here and bringing my friends. And that's all we want you to do. Just bring your friends and family to the 14 Eagles platform. We'll do the explaining for you. We'll do everything in our power to make this thing happen, because the 14 Eagles family is an amazing, amazing family, because as I like to say, and I'll close with this here, we're just ordinary people about to do extraordinary things together. So again, remember, as Brian said, our theme is very simple. Give from your heart, share your love, and accept your blessings, because they're going to come. They're going to come. So Brian, I'm going to close out by saying, bring your friends and family here next week, Thursday, 8:30. Let them see the platform. Let your friends and family know now that the platform is up and ready to go, and they can start getting involved right now in both platforms. There's no more excuses. I like to say, we leave no stone left unturned. Until next time, family, we love you. See you next week.
Peace.